All right, so let's jump right in. You've probably heard about the Vedas, right? They're seen as the absolute bedrock of Hindu philosophy. But what if I told you there's this other massive, epic library of texts that's considered just as important? I mean, a collection so foundational that it's actually known as the fifth Veda. Well, today we're going to crack open that very world, the amazing world of the Puranas.
To really get a feel for the Puranas, we have to start where they often do, with a story. So just picture this, a river so sacred, so pure, that its waters are literally perfumed by celestial beings bathing and sages making offerings. This isn't just some river on a map, it's a cosmic meeting place. And its story? Well, that's our key to unlocking this whole thing.
So this river, the Narmada, is seen in ancient texts as a place of just immense spiritual power. It's a source of salvation, a place where any sincere wish can come true. And the beings who flock to its banks, well, it's quite the gathering.
I mean, the sheer variety of who shows up here is just incredible. It's not just the usual gods and holy men. We're talking everyone, from the top-tier deities like Brahma and Vishnu to celestial musicians called Gandharvas. And get this, even beings you wouldn't expect. Demons, powerful titans called Asuras, and ghosts. They are all drawn to this river's incredible energy. Okay, so this brings us to a really important moment in the story. There's a great sage, his name is Shaunaka, and he goes to a master storyteller because he's got this gap in his knowledge, a question that's really bugging him.
He basically says, look, I get it. I know about Brahma's river, the Saraswati. I know about Vishnu's river, the Ganga. But this third great river, the one tied to Lord Shankara or Shiva, I've never heard its story. What is it? Where'd it come from? And that question right there is what kicks off our whole journey.
And the answer he gets is so fascinating. He's told, hey, the story of this river, the Narmada, you'll find it inside the 18 Puranas, compiled by the sage Vyasa. So you see, to understand the river, you have to first understand the books that tell its story.
And here we go. This is the real core of it all. What in the world are these Puranas, and why are they such a big deal? Well, they are so highly revered that they're actually called the fifth Veda. You see, the original four Vedas are incredibly deep, they're abstract, they're complex, so the Puranas were created to take all that profound wisdom and, break it down so that everyone could access it, not just the scholars and the ascetics.
So here's the key takeaway. If the Vedas are like the dense, philosophical brain, the Puranas are its vibrant storytelling soul. They don't try to replace the Vedas, they complete them. Think about it. Almost all the stories you've ever heard about Hindu gods and goddesses, the reasons we celebrate certain festivals, the very cultural fabric for millions of people, that all comes straight from the Puranas.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. There's a saying that the Veda itself is scared of someone with just a little bit of knowledge because it's worried they'll misunderstand and twist its deep teachings. The Puranas are the solution. They give you the context, the stories, the foundation you need to approach that higher wisdom in the right way.
So, are these just a jumble of random stories? No way. The major Puranas, the Mahapuranas, they all follow a very specific 5-part structure. A blueprint, if you will. You can almost think of it as the biography of the entire universe. Every major Purana is supposed to cover these 5 topics. First, Sarga, how the universe was first created. Then Pratisarga, the cycles of it all being destroyed and then recreated. Third is Vamsha, basically the family trees of the gods and great sages. Fourth, you have Manvantaras, these huge cosmic cycles of time. And finally, Vamshanu Charita, the histories of the great royal dynasties. It's this structure that gives them their truly cosmic scope.
So just how big are we talking here? How massive is this collection of cosmic histories? Well, the tradition tells us there are 18 Mahapuranas, 18 great Puranas.
That's right, 18. 18 separate massive texts, and each one is its own universe of stories and knowledge. The scale of these things is just mind-boggling.
Just take a look at this. The Skanda Purana has 81,000 verses. The Padma Purana, 55,000. Now, to put that into perspective for you, Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, you combine them, and there's still less than 30,000 verses. So we're not just talking about big books. This is a whole library of epic literature. And here's where it gets really wild. According to the tradition itself, what we have today is just a tiny fraction of the original. The story goes that there was originally one single Purana up in the celestial world that was made of 1 billion verses.
Right, so that divine text gets condensed way down to 400,000 verses for us humans, and those verses were then organized into the 18 Mahapuranas by the sage Vyasa. And that's not even the whole story. There are also 18 minor Puranas, called Upapuranas. It's this incredibly vast, beautifully organized system for preserving knowledge.
And this brings us right back to that central point. The Puranas aren't just some optional extra credit. They are the essential foundation. The ancient wisdom says you have to dive into these stories first, because only then will you have the right framework to truly understand the deeper philosophy of the Vedas.
Which kind of leaves us with this one big idea to chew on. You know, what the Puranas show us on this grand cosmic scale is just how powerful a story can be. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Are stories just, entertainment, a way to pass the time? Or are they something more? Could they be the most powerful tool we've ever invented for preserving everything that makes us who we are? Our knowledge, our ethics, our culture, our entire identity, passed down through the ages.